Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm here today trying to get these shocks, this little shock right here, off because I took it to some jumps and I was having a little bit of fun with it, which is alright, but my shocks were getting kind of worn because they have oil in there. And they're not so bad, you could tell. But honestly, I think they should be a little bit tighter for what they are. And so, what you do is you can take the whole shock off, lower arm. I'm gonna have to remember now. We'll do one at a time. So I'm just gonna clean this off a little bit. Any oils off. See, now what we're gonna do is there should be a way to unscrew this. There we go. There's oil inside of here. You don't want to get any contaminants in there. Let me just okay. So what you would do is I bought this oil. This is TLR, Team Low C Racing Lock Oil. And so you put this in your shocks. This is a heavier weight right here. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm just going to set this down for a second. What I'm going to do is take this little lid off. What they say you want to do is I'm going to pop this little bad boy open and fill it to the top where it was. I don't know if you guys can see that, but let me just top it off real quick. Very slowly so we don't get air bubbles in there. Right there to the top, as you can see. See, that one is filled. Now what you want to do is very carefully screw this back on. Clean around the edge. I do want to clean around this edge. Get any excess dirt out of there that might have got trapped. Maybe give it a few taps to let the
So how many mango? What? One mango and one the very first one? The plain?
Now we will just go ahead and give this a nice little slug. Clean up any excess oil. So this is stronger oil. Let's just give it. You can tell the velocity in this viscosity is a lot higher. That's a lot stiffer of a shock, guaranteed. If I can keep these round. Now, let's say what I will do is grab our screwdriver. I'm just doing one at a time so you guys can see. Let's come back down to. We're gonna have to put the long screw goes from the back this way. So you just work your way through the shock like this. Come back through to your little pivoting arm. All the way through, and it should have a little nut. Gonna get that on by hand. Okay, a pair of pliers. just to kind of hold the nut while I tighten this. Tighten it. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So now I have this heavier weight, which will make the shocks a little stiffer. That way when I'm jumping, it'll still absorb really well, but it'll just not be as lightweight as it was before. It'll have to really soak up the bumps a little bit better, stay a little bit more rigid, flow a little bit better for jumping and stuff. Stock suspension was not too horribly bad. Let's get this one. Get the back right here so you guys can see. Okay. And we got our lower control arm right here. And what I'm working on trying to do is to line this up just like so. You can see here's the bolt. And general rule of thumb, you always want to hand tighten any bolts. You always want to hand tighten first on anything you're working on. Lug nuts. Kind of get the threads going at first. Make sure you're straight. Okay, that's one chalk down. So as you can see, let's bring it far into view. This is the one I can get. These ones are really, really soft from what I can see.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and repeat the process. Here on this side. Let's go ahead and grab this little nut right here. Go ahead and break it by hand. Just go ahead and back this out like so.
Mango protein.
What'd you call me?
Protein shake. Just mango. And this one.
Okay.
I think this is
What I really like to do when I'm doing this type of stuff is, there's my nut, there's my bolt. I have this little magnetic tray for working on real automobiles, but it works perfect for this. You just go ahead and put that down there. You know where our stuff is at. This one does not have a nut on it, but what I could do is just go ahead and tackle this from the bottom. Just get that out of the way. Now the shock is loose and free. Just go ahead and pull this out. Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. Okay. And this is a Horizon Hobby Horizon AMP MT RC truck, 2-wheel drive, and it's a pretty fun truck. The only upgrade I did to it was getting a LiPo battery. It came with a nickel-cadmium battery, which was still pretty fast. It went about 35-40 with the nickel-cadmium battery, and I upgraded it to a LiPo battery, and from there it went to about 45-50 on a full charge, miles per hour, that is. It's not so bad for your first little vehicle. for my first little vehicle. Same steps as before. Let's just go ahead and clean this out. As you can see, just wipe all that off. And clean up our shocks. Just go ahead and start by unscrewing this. This one had gotten some newer oil in it. You can see it's clear. I'm going with the one that's red. Let me just dump this out. So here I am. Let's put this down. Got another one. Let's go ahead and start with filling this one up again. There we go. That one I chopped off fairly quickly. Let's just get this. Clean around the edge real nicely. Try to let it get topped off and slowly start putting our cap back on. Any extra is going to squeeze out like that. We use that extra just to kind of clean any debris off, which I see I have a little bit of dirt in here. These things kind of go in place just to help hold each other up. And you're going to set it. Same thing, it's snug it, make sure it's tight. Clean it, and it's reinstall now. As you can see, it's a lot stiffer, way stiffer, which I really like. That'll help me with some extra jumps. I'm going to start by doing the same thing, which was installing the top part first. So let's go ahead and just get this ready right here. Well, you guys can see. Let's go ahead and put this through. Like so. Then we'll line up our shock. Kind of get that centered. Push that all the way through. Go to our little tool bucket. Pull out this little nut. And tighten it. Really small nuts, so you gotta be careful to not strip them. There we go. You can see that 1 second. Now what I do is I get my screwdriver from right here. I like to just pinch this nut like so. Go ahead and tighten very carefully. These are pretty tough anyways too. You don't have to worry about like breaking. It's not super fragile. They actually make a pretty durable car, which I really like, especially for the price. For a beginner, you could do a lot of stuff and you don't have to worry about damaging it that much. Nothing's invincible, but I mean, for the most part, pretty solid car. So my nut is tightened. Let's pull out the last screw. Let's come on back to this, remove these out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is try to line up, you guys can see there. Let's get this in the shock.
I mean, I want to go now.
No, we can't let 4 July weekend out.
See if I can get this lined up where I want it first. There we go. Tilt it down so you guys can see. There it is. There it is right there. Those are the two rear right there. That's a lot stiffer, I can tell right now. Look at how the front is. I could probably just get away with that, but in all actuality, it's pretty rough where I'm jumping. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the front ones as well. So what I will do is start by deassembling these ones. The same thing, let me get my pliers. Same thing. What I'm gonna do is start with one side. Go ahead and grasp that. And very carefully start undone my nuts and bolts. Here we are.